A Sand County Almanac by Aldo Leopold, Part 3, A Taste for Country, Chapter 2, A Man's Leisure Time, Section 2. When I was a boy, there was an old German merchant who lived in a little cottage in our town. On Sundays, he used to go out and knock chips off the limestone ledges along the Mississippi, and he had a great tonnage of these chips, all labeled and catalogued. The chips contained little fossil stems of some defunct water creatures called crinoids. The townspeople regarded this gentle old fellow as just a little bit abnormal, but harmless. One day, the newspaper reported the arrival of certain titled strangers. It was whispered that these visitors were great scientists. Some of them were from foreign lands, and some among the world's leading paleontologists. They came to visit the harmless old man and to hear his pronouncements on crinoids, and they accepted these pronouncements as law. When the old German died, the town awoke to the fact that he was a world authority on his subject, a creator of knowledge, a maker of scientific history. He was a great man, a man beside whom the local captains of industry were mere bushwhackers. His collection went to a national museum, and his name is known in all the nations of the earth. I knew a bank president who adventured in roses. Roses made him a happy man and a better bank president. I know a wheel manufacturer who adventures in tomatoes. He knows all about them, and whether as a result or as a cause, he also knows all about wheels. I know a taxi driver who romances in sweet corn. Get him wound up once, and you will be surprised how much he knows, and hardly less at how much there is to be known. The most glamorous hobby I know of today is the revival of falconry. It has a few addicts in America and perhaps a dozen in England, a minority indeed. For 2.5 cents, one can buy and shoot a cartridge that will kill the heron, whose capture by hawking requires months or years of laborious training of both the hawk and the hawker. The cartridge as a lethal agent is the perfect product of industrial chemistry. One can write a formula for its lethal reaction. The hawk as a lethal agent is the perfect flower of that still utterly mysterious alchemy, evolution. No living man can, or possibly ever will, understand the instinct of predation that we share with our raptorial servant. No man-made machine can, or even will, synthesize that perfect coordination of eye, muscle, and pinion as he stoops to his kill. The heron, if bagged, is inedible and hence useless, although the old falconers seem to have eaten him, just as a Boy Scout smokes and eats a flea-bitten summer cottontail that has fallen victim to his sling, club, or bow. Moreover, the hawk, at the slightest error in technique of handling, may either go tame like Homo sapiens or fly away into the blue. All in all, falconry is the perfect hobby. To make and shoot the longbow is another. There is a subversive belief among laymen that in the hands of an expert, the bow is an efficient weapon. Each fall, less than 100 Wisconsin experts register to hunt deer with the broad-headed arrow. 1 out of the 100 may get a buck, and he is surprised. 1 out of 5 riflemen gets his buck. As an archer, therefore, and on the basis of our record, I indignantly deny the allegation of efficiency. I admit only this, that making archery tackle is an effective alibi for being late at the office or failing to carry out the ash can on Thursdays. One cannot make a gun, at least I cannot, but I can make a bow, and some of them will shoot. And this reminds me that perhaps our definition ought to be amended. A good hobby in these times is one that entails either making something or making the tools to make it with, and then using it to accomplish some needless thing. When we have passed out of the present age, a good hobby will be the reverse of all these. I come again to the defiance of the contemporary. A good hobby must also be a gamble. When I look at a rough, heavy, lumpy, splintery stave of bois d'art and envision the perfect gleaming weapon that will one day emerge from its graceless innards, and when I picture that bow drawn in a perfect arc, ready in a split second to cleave the sky with its shining javelin, I must envision also the probability that it may, in a split second, burst into impotent splinters, while I face another laborious month of evenings at the bench. The possible debacle is, in short, an essential element in all hobbies, and stands in bold contradistinction to the humdrum certainty that the endless belt will eventuate in a ford. A good hobby may be a solitary revolt against the commonplace, or it may be the joint conspiracy of a congenial group. That group may, on occasion, be the family. In either event, it is a rebellion, and if a hopeless one, all the better. I cannot imagine a worse jumble than to have the whole body politic suddenly adopt all the foolish ideas that smolder in happy discontent beneath the conventional surface of society. There is no such danger. Nonconformity is the highest evolutionary attainment of social animals, and will grow no faster than other new functions. Science is just beginning to discover what incredible regimentation prevails among the free savages and the freer mammals and birds. A hobby is perhaps creation's first denial of the peck order that burdens the gregarious universe, and of which the majority of mankind is still a part.